This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me through this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Rikky, Morrisette, Albert Lorenzo, Eddie Costello, LightBlindedFool, and the Amyrlin seat. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Bryant Faris, Stefan Danielson, and Eleanor to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. And we also want to thank Mark Sheets for increasing his pledge over at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. Thank you so much for all of your generosity and your support. We really couldn't do this without our patrons. In this episode, we are talking about chapters 13 and 14 of A Crown of Swords.
Yeah, so chapter 13 is The Bowl of the Winds, and chapter 14 is White Plumes.
Yeah, and you know, in the chapter, The Bowl of the Winds,
all
we're gonna do is talk about it.
So here's the thing. I feel like I need to apologize because...
You need to apologize
if you remember,
me personally.
At the end of last chapter...
I'm upset, I remember.
Yeah, well, you were like, hey, I think now we're finally going to find the Bowl of the Winds.
I'm so happy it has a name.
Yeah, and I was like,
exciting.
Okay, maybe, sure. And in fact, we have not yet found it. But we maybe gained some information about the fact that it does exist. We don't know where it is. We're not any closer to that.
It's a thing... And it maybe does what we think it does, which is what I've been very skeptical about. I've been skeptical about what it actually will do.
That's true, and it sounds like it is a thing that is...
It's
what they think it is.
But we have no idea where it is.
No, we're not any closer.
Lost for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
How's that?
Holy smokes, it's in Ebudar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, maybe.
Search party.
It was in Ebudar in Teleranriad,
sure.
like 8 months ago.
It wasn't that long. Okay. There's things. Okay. And we've got like a new map.
Yeah, we do have a map. At.
We've got things. We've got so many glossary definitions.
Wow, really?
Well, it's actually just like one glossary definition that I had to break into multiple parts.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so I got to give you some background information.
Okay, looking forward to that.
Yeah. And to start us off, I have a really neat fun fact.
Yeah.
That's been on the back burner for almost half a year.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat. Not because of the Bowl of the Winds chapter, but because of the White Plumes chapter. So, we were sent back in November of 2021, a long time ago.
Yep.
A note, a letter, and a pair of shot glasses from one of our awesome Patreon supporters. So, I'm going to read the note because it's got some fun information about the horse races.
Ooh, the Derby.
Yeah, so here we go. This is from Dodd, so thank you, Dodd. This is Dani and Brett, longtime listener and Patreon supporter, first-time shot glass sender. Enclosed, please find 2 shot glasses from my beloved Commonwealth of Kentucky. The first has our state motto, state bird, and most famous product, which is horse racing. The second and commemorative shot glass from the 116th running of the Kentucky Derby, chosen because the 116th Derby ran the same year that Eye of the World came out.
Wow!
Now, the ideal thing to drink from a Kentucky shot glass is proper Kentucky bourbon.
All right, and what did you run out to buy today, Brett?
I ran out to buy Maker's Mark, which is an iconic brand of Kentucky Usquai.
Oh, nice.
So, that's the recommended option, so that's what we went with.
That's what we're doing.
With these 2 iconic Kentucky shot glasses.
I have to tell you, I do not want to shoot this.
Oh, I know you don't. But this is the thing.
But we're going to.
Dodd asked that I make sure we do this for this chapter.
Specifically.
And I just want to shout at myself for keeping track of something for this long, because I'm usually not good at that kind of thing.
I'm pretty impressed with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there we go. So thank you for the shot glasses. Let's do this shot of Maker's Mark.
And I love the connection to the Wheel of Time, the 116th Kentucky Derby, which came out, I guess, in 1990?
1989.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're testing my...
Well, I thought it was 1990. No, it came out in 89?
Oh, 1990. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, those are funny things I remember.
Yeah. It was like right around when we were born, so that's fine.
All right. Okay. And as a fun side note, we're recording this episode live with our patrons on Discord. And so hopefully they're going to take a Kentucky Derby shot with us.
There we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, no.
Yeah, I told you.
So smooth.
Yeah. All right.
That is not what I'm used to.
Take a brief hour-long intermission.
I can see how, like, maybe on, like, ice sipping, like, but, that was not...
Just take her down. You're good.
Ooh, okay. That's probably the worst one in a while. I like my whiskey mixed.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
And when we get to the chapter, I do have a very special hat. It's my sun hat that I tied a white scarf to.
Yes.
To make white plumes.
It's wonderful. It's very lovely.
Yeah. And what's really fun is we have Dodd in our Discord right now, chatting with us as we record this.
Yeah.
And turns out, when this comes out, it will have just been the Kentucky Derby.
There you go. Coincidence.
First Saturday in
right?
May, turns
Wonderful.
out. Other fun fact I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start this and get through the Bowl of the Winds.
Okay, but before we get started, I want to tell you about Egwene doing a bunch of things last time we were here.
Okay.
So, she found out about Lan and Morel, and then she sent Lan to Nynaeve.
Correct. Yeah.
And made a skimming platform with railings.
Safety rails.
Safety rails.
Yeah.
So Egwene also saw a merchant train from Camelin that may or may not be completely made up of Lanfears in disguise.
Okay.
Multiple Lanfears.
True.
Or other Forsaken
and
question
Asmodeans,
mark.
right?
And Asmodeans.
Regular dark friends.
I'm on edge about it.
Sure.
Okay? Who's to say? Not me. I don't know.
Okay.
So also, Egwene is now best friends with Halima. So, like, that's not great.
Yeah, possibly forced friends.
Compelled
compulsion.
friends.
Yeah, compulsion friends, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Some say the best kind of friend.
I mean, like, force someone to be my friend.
I mean,
so
yeah. I could make you the best version of the friend that I want.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay, so we start with chapter 13, the Bowl of the Winds.
Yeah.
And our chapter symbol is the sea folk.
The two birds and the star. Another fun fact. So, this is the only chapter symbol in the entire series so far that we've only seen one time. Whoa. Excluding New Spring. We don't talk about that right now.
And it was called what? Wave Dancer?
It was called The Wave Dancer.
The Wave Dancer.
From Book 4, The Shadow Rising.
There we are.
Amazing.
And we get a nice old map of Ebudar.
We do. It kind of makes sense with the Rahad. Now you're like, okay, across the river.
Got
it's
it.
Like separate.
I think the reason why we get this close-up is so that we really can see this bay.
Yeah,
they're like sitting in.
It's big, and that's where all the boats are.
That's where the boats are.
Yeah.
Did you know there's also birds?
There are birds.
And there's water.
Yeah.
And there's more boats.
Yeah.
And sky.
And a lot of water.
And
sometimes water with no land.
And can you believe water that you can't even drink?
Right? Which is actually kind of funny because, like...
It's useless. Whoever heard of useless water?
Fair point. There's a lot of things I really connect with Avienda in this chapter. Like, I get it. I understand it.
You don't like useless water?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
That's like a stance I didn't know you had.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about it.
I mean, I don't prefer swimming in salt water. It, like, stings my eyes.
We'll talk about it when we get there.
Oh, I thought we were there.
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
There's, like, things she says that I connect with, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I cut out a lot, so you might have to, like, backpedal and be like, oh, you missed what I wanted to talk about, because I cut out a lot of description about how Avienda does not like water.
Oh, man, okay.
Because it's, like, the first half of this chapter.
That's, like, the important... Okay, fine.
Nope.
No, it's good.
No, it's
cool.
not important. You're wrong.
Okay, here's something that I really want you to keep in mind, because I'm 99% sure you've forgotten. I'm very confident that you've not remembered this very important piece of information, and I want you to think about that because we're in an Avienda perspective, which we haven't seen.
Yes, I was actually going to ask. That was my first question.
Interesting, and that's what you're supposed to remember.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the thing. Back in Lord of Chaos, Chapter 19, Matters of Toe, was the first time we got an Avienda perspective. This is the second time we've gotten an Avienda perspective.
Because I felt like we had been in Avienda's head before,
but it's like,
but I couldn't remember when, and I like thinking back to like the Farce Nose and that whole thing where it was like very Avienda heavy.
Yeah. Like, we know Avienda. We've gotten
but
so
we
much,
haven't been, like, in her head.
Exactly. So, back in Chapter 19, Avienda was spending some time with Rand.
Chapter 19 of...
Lord of Chaos.
Lord of Chaos.
Last book. Okay. Avienda tells Rand about dreams that the Wise Ones had.
Okay.
They have a conversation. And she said all 3 Wise Ones had this dream, so it's especially significant. Rain coming from a bowl. There are snares and pitfalls around the bowl. If the right hand picks it up, they will find a treasure perhaps as great as the bowl. If the wrong hands, the world is doomed. The key to finding the bowl is to find the one who is no longer.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. You forgot completely about that. And that's after... Then we jumped into Avienda's perspective after she left.
Okay.
So, here's the thing. I went back and listened to episode 612, if anyone's interested, to what we talked about, because we did talk about this.
Interesting. Okay, did I say... I don't know.
You had some predictions.
I did?
Yeah.
I love when I have predictions.
So, number 1, you picked up on the fact that the dream about the bull may or may not have something to do with Rand, and you don't think it really had anything to do with Rand.
Okay.
Specifically. You're
no,
he's not involved. Anyways.
Yeah.
The important thing is that the key to finding the bull, to find the one who is no longer, you said, was Swan.
Oh.
Because she is no longer the Amyrlin.
Ah, okay.
And then we talked about, like, maybe she needs to go with them. And she's, like, no longer Aes Sedai.
Right, okay. Right? And this is obviously before they left for Abu Dar. And,
all that stuff.
Okay,
and,
okay.
So it's been a while.
The one that is no longer.
Yes, and then you shifted and you gave some other suggestions on who
Did
this
I say,
person
like,
could be.
People who had died?
No, Morgaze.
Morgaze? Oh, no longer the queen. Okay, good and one, Danny.
Then you went off a little bit off the rails here.
Did I say Asmodean?
No.
Oh.
No, you said Merilel. So
Merleli.
Merleli. The Aes Sedai who went to Abu Dar first. And you were like, maybe she's no longer alive. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah. So you had some predictions.
Those were not... I don't know.
The thing to remember, Avienda knows from the Wise Ones the key to finding the bowl is to find the one who is no longer.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Dot.
Yep.
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 Thanks.
It's important, yeah.
I appreciate that.
And this was Avienda's idea to do this thing. So, like, there's things. And we don't know if she's talked to the girls about all this. Like, we don't really know all the ins and outs. But...
Okay. Are you ready to start this chapter?
Now we can start the chapter.
Because we haven't even started yet.
There's things to cover. These are good chapters. Okay.
Yeah, no. Right. That's good. And I like the callback.
Okay.
And I like specifically that you went back to listen to the things that I don't remember that I say.
Yeah.
So, we do enter in our second Avienda perspective. I just added that in because I didn't know that before.
Yeah.
But, okay, second Avienda perspective. Avienda is on a boat, and she's going fast, and...
They're not going that fast.
No, they're going slow. Okay, anyway, she's on a boat with Elaine, Nynaeve, and Brigida, and probably not T-Pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe he might be on. He
might be
deck.
there.
Yeah.
He might be there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, Avienda hates all this water, she thinks salt water is useless, and Avienda is doing her best to hold herself together and not show her fear of the water because that would bring her shame.
Yeah. So here's the first
That was
part.
like the first 3 pages, all in one sentence.
I connect with her because she says reading about it, being the water, is not the same thing as tasting it. And I connect with that so hard because people tell you, oh, the ocean's salty.
Yeah, it
is. Oh, if you go to the ocean, it's going to be really salty.
Yeah.
But then you go because you're like, sure, I've tasted salty stuff. I've had salt water. I've had really salty food before. Like, I get it. It's salty. And then you go to the ocean.
Sure.
And you get in the water, and it is so salty.
Yeah, it is salty.
Like, the first time I literally
your
had...
eyes. It's
so salty that words cannot even describe how salty it is.
It's not even, fun to play in when you're not used to it. No, I'd rather go to the pool at the resort.
People have that thought process, like, oh, if I was really thirsty, I could totally drink.
No, you can't. It would dehydrate your body more. That's a bad idea.
You would die immediately, like, instant.
Yeah, that's not a good
so
idea.
Salty.
Don't do it.
Oh, man. Okay, so I connect with her because she totally,
Yeah, and did you know that I have floated in the most salt-dense body of water?
Very cool.
On the planet.
Okay.
It's the Dead Sea.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Anyways.
It makes you float.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last part about this is all Avienda's idea. We don't really know what the actual idea is, but then we get it later that it was going to the sea folk.
Going to the sea folk.
Yeah.
That's her idea.
It's her idea. Not all the specifics, but...
She's got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, well, she's smart.
Let's put her in charge.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I would do that.
Let's put Avienda in charge of everything. of Camelin
Well,
and of the Amyrlin seed.
Then she'd just be like, kill him, kill him, kill him.
Why
don't we just kill them all?
Yeah, her and Swan are going to get along just swimmingly. Do you like that pun? Swimmingly?
It's good. Okay.
Okay, but we'll get there. Avienda tries thinking about the dress she's in and how she's not used to it. She wants to be in her Cadinsor. And now, can you believe it? She owns 4 silk dresses.
Whoa, it's crazy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Nobody else on this boat looks like they want to talk either.
Yeah.
Elaine seems caught up in her worries about her duties. I think it's funny that Avienda thinks about how it's wild that the daughter of a clan chief can just become a clan chief because she's the daughter.
Yeah,
and she's like, what?
It is a weird system.
It's weird.
But it's funny because that's the system that Savannah really likes and wants to implement.
Yes.
She's like, I dig it. Make my children rulers forever and their children. Like, let's incorporate that.
Yeah.
So maybe not the best system.
Not the best.
Okay.
Not very democratic.
I can't believe you skipped Avienda's entire thought process, though, because it's so funny. She's like, oh, she's trying her best not to think about the water.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I own 4 silk dresses, and silk comes from Shara, and they spool it up in big, things, and then they have to ship it over the ocean.
You can't believe I skipped all of that?
It's so funny.
Nah.
I love it, how her brain just, keeps bringing everything back to the water. It's terrible.
So she also thinks about Brigida, who is very lucky to be wearing pants.
Right.
And I just thought, then wear pants.
She's a wise one. She can't.
Well, she's not in the waist
no,
with... There's a dress code for wise ones when
There's
they're not
a dress code
even...
for everything.
You think that the wise ones are cool with her just wearing silk dresses?
Possibly. More
with
so than
lacy frills?
So here's the thing. She wants to wear the warrior clothing.
Oh.
And the wise ones would know that
she's dressed...
I
wouldn't say that Brigida's wearing she's wearing hammer pants, parachute pants.
I know. The wise ones would know if Avienda tried to put on pants and a coat, they know why she would be doing it, and it's the reason of why she's doing it that she has to accept.
Just wear pants if you want to wear pants.
She's got to accept the fact that she is a wise one.
She can be a wise one and wear fluffy pants if she wants.
Nope, can't do it.
Flowy pants.
Can't do it.
They're in style.
Well, okay.
All right. Well,
fun little information. Using one name feels like using a honey name.
Honey name. I like that. It's Nickety name, but cute.
Yeah. And
Nickety name, but sweet.
Yes.
Honey name.
Randall Thor is the only lover she's ever had.
Oh, yes.
Good
also
to know.
that.
Just for the record.
Yeah, and I also now want to pay more attention to when the Aiel are, talking to each other.
Sure.
What's a full name for an Aiel? Does Avienda have a last name? Why does she think it's so weird to just say Rand instead of Randall Thor? Or Nynaeve instead of Nynaeve Almira?
It's a good question.
Because it's Avienda of the different Septs and stuff, right?
Yeah, Sept and clan, so, okay. Yeah, it's something to look at.
It's just a weird thought, and I just, I never picked up that the Aiel always called each other by, 8 names.
Well, I mean, it's not an always thing, but, yeah, it's just something to look for.
Yeah, I will. I will look for it, because it was just a weird thing. Okay. Now, Avienda also thinks about Nynaeve right now and how she's doing absolutely terrible because of the seasickness thing that she gets, and she is looking like she's going to barf everywhere.
Yes, not good.
No. Now, Elaine brings up the topic of Nicola and Ariana. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Arena.
The Bobbsey twins.
It's Arena. Yeah. One of the sets.
One of the sets of the Bobbsey twins. And the message that they got from Egwene last night in their dreams was about how they know.
Yes. Yeah.
And so Avienda says, well, I could just get rid of them for you.
Yeah. Well, Egwene should just kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. She should just get rid of them herself.
Right. Draws a thumb across her throat.
Kill him. Why not?
Kill him. And I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Because Swan specifically was like, well, they should just have an accident then. And Egwene was like, what the fuck? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had this conversation because I was like, if this were Aiel, absolutely yes.
Yeah.
And I also said something about the Forsaken also wanting to murder people.
Totally.
But Aiel, right next chapter, here we are.
Yeah. No,
saying,
you nailed it.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me off them.
That's why maybe you guys shouldn't be in charge.
Yeah.
It's just a thought.
I don't know. I mean, one too many times. How many times does someone have to blackmail you?
But I mean, Brigida has a good point because she's saying, well, you know what? Maybe we should focus on the more important thing, right? Which is Moghedien. Moghedien escaped.
Yeah.
So there's that to think about.
Brigida also agrees that they should be murdered.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously. She gets it.
Yeah. And she also tells Elaine to quit being so uppity.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I
It's
mean,
just a
she's got her
couple
like,
of bitches.
shock, and how could you say that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, anyways, you're right. They should be more worried about the Mogedian escaping news.
Yeah.
Also, side note, Avienda thinks that wearing booby dresses is not the same as being naked in a sweat tent.
Well, yeah, it's
She
different.
thinks it's much more scandalous to have the inner slopes of your breasts showing.
Well.
That's the wording in this chapter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
Well, how else would you describe it?
I wouldn't describe it.
Well, maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe that's why I'm not an author.
Yeah.
The inner slopes of her breasts
Sure.
are showing, and that is not modest.
But I mean, a big thing for the Aiel is context of like how people can see you, what you allow them to see, right? So,
I suppose.
absolutely.
I thought they just, like, didn't care at all. But turns out they care a little bit in very specific contexts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a hard system to understand, but once
It
you
is.
get it, you know,
Yeah.
then one day I hope that I understand it.
Yeah, no, I don't understand it. All right, so Avienda changes the subject and asks Elaine about their search for the Cloud Bowl and that they're preparing for success, but they aren't any closer for the day that they started. And then so Avienda suggests maybe we should bring in Matt Cawthon, considering he's Taviran and literally brings luck with him everywhere he goes.
Yeah, that is his whole like superpower.
That's his thing.
That's his deal.
Yeah, and Nynaeve is like, outrageous.
How could you even suggest that?
Never.
Terrible
I am never
idea.
working with Matrim Cawthon. He is a
Nope,
scoundrel
hate
and,
it.
and is worse than anything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked about that, and, you
Yeah.
know, they didn't think of it, and that's the issue.
Yeah, and Elaine says, why didn't I think of that? And Brigitta's like, maybe because you think Matt's a scoundrel and you can't see any use for him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
maybe you didn't want to think about that, and you've just been trying to keep him away the entire time.
Right.
Like, they only see him as Rand's friend.
Yeah.
And, like, the, you know,
And Nynaeve
goofball.
says, no, he's the worst, and they'll never find it with him because he's stupid, and he has stupid soldiers.
1,000 times worse than Van Dien and Adelius and Marilil.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Come on, it's...
Yeah, and
Thanks.
Elaine's like, yeah, but he's Taviran, and he alters chance, and so maybe we need that now. And Nynaeve's like, I'm not going to get my way, but so who's going to ask him?
Yeah, he's going to make us beg for help.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be me who asks him.
I'm never going to beg. I don't even want to look at his stupid face.
Yeah.
She's so miserable. She's
Yeah.
so miserable.
Again, keep in mind, she's on a boat. She
I know,
hates it.
and she hates
she's
Matt.
seasick. She hates Matt. Yeah.
She hates Matt.
It's not a good situation.
It's not like a love thing. It's not whatever. It's like she just hates him.
They had a run-in together. It's just...
Hates him.
Yeah. Well, there's like the butt-kicking thing and then like the
Yeah.
Matt threatening her sort of
I
thing.
know. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's not good. There's no love.
I'm
There's
not
no
saying
love
I don't
there.
I don't know why it's happening, but it's not good.
It's not good. So Elaine says that Brigitte will tell him, not beg him.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. I've solved it. My warder will do it.
All right. And Brigitte's like, what? Really, me? And Elaine's like, you're the clear choice. We're Aes Sedai and can channel, and you know what he's like.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. She says that we can't possibly do it and maintain proper dignity. And it's like the Aes Sedai can't be seen asking for anything, or is it just Matt? Because she has no problem like asking for help.
Yeah.
She's asked for help more than any other Aes Sedai ever. That's how they gain trust with Tylan.
Yep.
That's how they're going to gain trust with the Sea Folk in a
Yep.
second. But it's just Matt.
Is it asking a man?
Is it a man? Is
thing?
it like yeah?
Maybe it's just Matt. Or maybe because they wouldn't be able to ask for help without it turning into a screaming match and then being like ridiculously immature about the
Yeah.
entire situation.
Well, I mean-
and that's where they'll lose their dignity.
Elaine already ruined it by like trying to take his Terangriel.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I own that, but I'll let you keep it.
Yeah.
And it's like
He's like, no.
no. So, I mean, this is yeah. So I mean, and Brigitte's like super shocked because we know that she knows who he is.
And Elaine says, you know, he can't have recognized you. If he had, he would have said something by now. And Avienda doesn't know what that means, but we do.
We know what it means.
Yeah. And
yeah.
then Elaine and Nynaeve complain some more about Matt and his ridiculous scoundrel ways.
Yeah, it was like 7 to 12 pages of
I've
that. So
seen him leaving that inn looking happy.
right?
How
You should,
dare
well,
him.
they're miserable because their mission is failing.
Yeah, and he's like getting drunk and
He
I
has
don't know.
literally nothing
He's
better
like
to
having
do.
fun. He's trying anyway.
Yeah.
They're making him miserable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now finally the boat that they're on comes to a stop And they all get up to leave, but Nynaeve has to, like, sprint to throw up.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we get a little discussion between Elaine and Aviendha about how the core idea here was Aviendha's.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about it, but we heard a little bit of information about Aviendha and Elaine's relationship.
Oh,
so they're near sisters, but not close enough yet for first sisters. But Aviendha is pretty sure that they're going to adopt each other, especially since they're going to be sharing Rand, and they brush each other's hair every night, and every night in the dark they share secrets that they've never told anybody else.
Aww.
So it's just like the connection is definitely forming between the two. So
there we go. And
Aviendha's like, I don't know about that Min person, but
I guess we'll see.
Yes, yeah.
And then also in a little bit, they actually talk about how they're going to need to start talking about Rand because you can't manage a husband together if you don't talk about him in detail with each other.
Which, I mean, is probably fair.
Yeah.
Like, you should probably discuss the relationship.
Yeah, especially if it is like a joint, everybody's in this type of situation. It's not like Aviendha has her own relationship with Rand.
Yeah.
And Elaine has her own relationship with Rand. It sounds a little more...
Interconnected.
Yeah. Okay. And so now at this point, Aviendha forces herself to turn and look away from the boat out at the ocean.
She's facing her fear. Like, that's pretty good for her.
Big description from her point of view. And this is where we hear about birds and water and sky.
Pelicans.
And boats. Pelicans.
Right.
I did note the pelicans.
Yeah.
Yeah. No sword forms yet, though.
Not yet, but we will get one name.
No pelican sword forms. We've had a plethora of pelican sword forms suggested in our Discord, though.
Yeah.
Since then.
Well, and it's kind of funny, by the description and by, like, the map of the bay and the ocean, it doesn't actually seem like she's looking out into, like, to the ocean.
To the sea,
It's just to the bay.
Yeah.
And she's seeing, like, the bay.
Yeah.
Which is, like, the ocean is much bigger than that, too.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Certainly.
But, I mean, this is a lot.
It is a lot.
And hundreds of sea folk ships are here. Hundreds.
Okay.
Because usually when we talk about the sea folk, it's like, oh, there's a few sea folk ships. Like, we didn't really see the description of hundreds.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
You know, also didn't really get that all the boats in this, like, bay are sea folk ships.
They're not all, but there's hundreds of sea folk and more.
Oh.
It's it's huge.
Oh.
Huge bay.
See, I just, like, skimmed right over that.
A lot of boats.
Okay. See, sometimes it makes sense to read all of the descriptions of everything.
You know, sometimes it does.
Because I thought it was weird that, like, the queen of the sea folk are here on one boat.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of boats.
Hundreds.
And that's why they send word. Okay, now it's all making way more sense.
Okay.
It's all making way more sense.
And you know who's been dodging all the letters? Rand.
Rand.
Dodging all the sea folk letters.
Oh, right.
They're like, we want to talk to you, man. And he's like,
Not here, though. That's in different places.
No, but it's like, you know, there's got to be places where they come from to go inland.
That's true. Okay, and on that revelation, I'm going to go fill up my drink.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Okay, all refilled, ready to go. And we're going to start off here with Nynaeve shouting up at a man from her side of the ship. Like, literally yelling at someone.
Well, he's up on the sea folk ship. They're down on the regular ship.
And she's like, you great buffoon!
Yeah.
We're not after the gift of passage, so it doesn't matter whether you refuse it to Aes Sedai. Now let us up!
Yeah.
Right now!
Let me on your boat! I want to be up there.
And Elaine is like, oh my god, I have to fix this. So she walks over, she tries a more tactful approach, which, you know, it's funny, because Egwene and Nynaeve have very similar tactics when it comes to trying to get on a sea folk ship.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Just yell at them.
Yell at them until they let me on, and if they don't, then I attack them. Because Nynaeve is currently embracing Saidar.
Yes, she is.
And she's ready for a fight.
Yeah, and I thought she was, like, getting herself riled up on purpose so that she could embrace Saidar. And I was like, what are you doing?
What's the plan here? No, she's just, you know...
And at first, the first read-through, I honestly didn't understand, number one, why they were on a boat.
Yeah.
Where they were going, what they were doing. It was all a little bit like, oh...
It makes sense after. You're like, oh, they're gonna go visit the sea folk.
They're gonna go and want to talk to them. Because at first, I thought they needed, like, a boat to cross the river to get to the Rahad where they've been searching or something. I honestly had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
So now Elaine goes over, tries this more tactful approach and says, we must speak with your windfinder on a matter of urgency. Tell her we know of the weaving of winds. tell her we know of Windfinders.
Yeah, it's basically like, hey, we know your secret, so it's cool. Let us on board, please.
Right. And if anything, it might be like, no, you're going to try to steal our Windfinders, you dirty, tricksy Aes Sedai.
Well, and this is the funny comment, too, that comes up, because Nynaeve says to Elaine, like, hey, because she thinks, oh, you're threatening them, like, oh, we know your secret.
Yeah.
Right? So she's like, oh, the woman's probably going to think that you mean to blabber secrets. Only a ninny thinks that she can threaten people, Elaine, and still get anywhere. And then Aviendha bursts out laughing.
She's like,
wow.
Is that a joke?
Yeah.
Like, are you joking? Making fun of yourself right now? Because you are so hypocritical. It's like literally the exact same as Nynaeve getting in fist fights and hitting people on the head with sticks.
And being like, you shouldn't use violence.
Violence gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It doesn't get other people places.
It gets
works for me
everywhere.
See,
I'm fine.
They're going to get on the boat, so who's to say who did the better job?
It was Elaine.
Maybe.
They were curious. They wanted... No.
There's no way to ever know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it could be Nynaeve's tactic that worked, actually.
No, it was not. So, eventually they're allowed on the Seafolk ship, and instead of lowering down a ladder, they use this funny, like, wood swing.
Yeah, it's a wood swing. You lift them up.
It's like a plank.
There you go.
And they're lifted up, and then there's, like, this whole runner about how the men on the dock are going to look up their skirts.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever. I think Aviendha punches somebody. Or Aviendha threatens
Rikky punches someone in the face
for trying to look at Elaine.
And Aviendha threatens people with her knife.
She's like, hey, I'm just going to murder you. So,
yeah, and they're like, okay, fine.
Yeah. And also the hypocritical thought process that comes back later. Aviendha thinks, hey, the sea folk never leave their ships, and supposedly they eat their dead, but I can't credit that because I only read it in books.
And it's so funny because later they have thoughts about her, and she's like, how could you possibly think anything so stupid?
But in Aviendha's brain, she thinks, if the men wear necklaces, then who can say what else they do, such as eating their dead.
Ridiculous.
Crazy. You never know.
Have you ever heard of a man wearing a necklace?
Incredible. Who would do such a thing?
Scandalous.
Yep. That's what I say.
Yeah. So now a woman comes out to meet them once they get up onto this giant deck of a Seafolk ship.
Yeah, this is a huge boat.
Yeah.
Ship.
It's a ship.
Yeah.
And we get a description from Aviendha's point of view about this boat and all the sea folk. And then that's where she thinks about them eating their dead and stuff. And then also their physical descriptions.
She's never really seen it. We've seen it, but it's new to her, so we got to talk about it.
So we got a whole thing. They wear jewelry, earrings, nose rings. It's a whole thing.
We get some introductions. We get a wave mistress, right?
We do. So, the woman comes up to meet them, introduces herself, and then looks at all the women very skeptically.
Yeah.
And then sees the great serpent rings, and then sighs, and is like, all right, come with me.
Yeah, because she's not the channeler. She can't tell.
No, and they don't have ageless faces.
Right.
If that's what she knows about Aes Sedai. So, she's skeptical that they're even Aes Sedai at this point.
Yeah.
That's what I picked up anyway.
So, for the record, this is Malin Dintoral Breaking Wave, who is Wave Mistress of Clan Somarin and Sail Mistress of Windrunner. Windrunner is the boat. Her clan is Clan Somarin.
I don't care.
And she's a Wave Mistress.
I'm not going to remember any of this.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's for the record.
Wave Mistress is like the captain.
Yeah.
Right? Of the boat?
Yeah, and she's a wave mistress of the clan, so she's kind of like a clan chief to the Aiel, if that helps.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't care.
It's fine.
Her name is what?
Malin.
Cool.
Malin.
Okay. Yeah. Her name is Malin. That's what I'll remember about
No, you're
her.
not. Don't just lie. Don't just lie on recording like that. How could you?
I'll remember it for this episode.
Doubt it.
Oh.
Okay. Let's just keep going. I'll remind you who it is.
Malin, is the woman.
She is very important, but just in the context of this chapter, she's not as important as like the literal queen of the sea.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, she'd be like really highly important.
Yeah. Okay. So our group gets led into the ship further, and Aviendha is amazed by all the wood that they use.
There's
and
so much of it.
Make it into a room.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they get to this room that has windows, and the worst part about this is that the angle of the windows is like out to sea, where they can't see any land.
Yes.
And that makes her uneasy.
Terrible.
There's also an old man here.
Yep.
And some other woman.
Yeah, who we'll find out who they are soon.
Who can channel. Aviendha can tell that this other woman can channel.
Yeah, that's a wind finder.
A wind finder.
That's the wind finder. We know that. That makes sense to us.
Right. Okay. And so there's also another person here who's like holding everyone's attention.
Yes.
And we kind of get this interesting hierarchy thing about the number of earrings that a person wears.
Yeah. More is better.
More is better.
Generally. Like,
Yeah.
that's wow, that's a lot
And that's what we got when we were introduced to them in, what was it, book 4, you said? Shadow Rising?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a woman who is probably as old as this old man.
Yes.
That's the description we get.
Yeah.
Looks up from a map, and she's short to Avienda.
As short as Nynaeve.
Yeah, so to Avienda, is everybody just short who's not like Aiel?
I mean, I guess so, yeah. They're generally a little bit tall.
Yeah.
Like, Avienda's like, what, 5'8"-ish, probably?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's tall.
I mean, yeah.
That's
I mean,
8 inches taller than I am.
That's just off the top of my head, so I mean...
Yeah. I mean, that's probably an average height for, like, an Aiel woman.
Yeah.
You just guessing? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm correct, yeah.
Oh, you're correct, exactly?
5'8" to 5'10", yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm correct, yeah.
Okay, good for you.
Thank you, yes. It's good to know how tall people are, you know?
It's, like, medium important.
It's really important for the context when you're like, whoa, wow, Nynaeve's really short, and it's like, she's 5 feet, okay.
Yeah, no, because Nynaeve was taller than Moiraine, and Moiraine's 5 feet.
She's like 5'2".
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's only something that someone who's like 5'1" would say.
Oh, shut it. Shut it.
That's you.
I know.
So.
I'm not, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, this woman, even though she's short,
yes,
looks
she's
smart,
powerful.
powerful, and commanding. Plus, she has at least twice as much jewelry on as the Wave Mistress.
So it's like she
Malin.
would. Yeah, Malin would be important if this other person was not here right now.
Okay, and this woman doesn't say anything. She just goes over and stands in front of Nynaeve, inspects her face and the ring. And that's why I think the whole ageless face thing probably comes into play a little bit.
Sure.
And then she does the same thing to Elaine and Brigida, and she goes to Brigida and is like, "You're not Aes Sedai," and Brigida's like, "Nope."
No, you gotta say, by the 9 winds and Stormbringer's beard, I am not. Right. And that's why they talk to her later on, because they're like, whoa, when did you live amongst us?
Yeah. How did you know that?
How did you know all that stuff? You must have lived with us to know all those things.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, right. I did have a question about that later, so that makes sense.
It's Brigida. She's got memories from the old times.
Yeah, because when she says that, the woman jumps as if she'd been goosed.
Yeah, and that's a word I didn't look up. I don't know what being...
I looked it up.
Okay.
I did look it up.
Okay, because I don't know what being goosed is. Like, I know it's like, oh, it's a thing.
Because I was thinking, I bet you're wondering, what does to be goosed mean?
Means someone puts a goose in your pants or something.
No.
Okay.
I mean, not far.
Because I'd be like, whoa, what's happening?
According to thegooddictionary.com,
okay,
to be goosed means to poke, prod, or pinch a person between or on the buttocks.
So
it's like, yoop.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good description of it. Okay. I get it.
To be goosed. I don't know where that, I didn't search further.
I could assume like a goose biting you on the butt.
On the butt!
Right?
And goose are...
mean. They would do that.
Yeah.
They would totally do that.
Yeah, geese are awful.
Yeah, they're horrible
aggressive
creatures.
And scary. And I've had one hiss at me one time when I was just trying to go for a run.
Fair, yeah.
I don't like them. I also don't like birds.
Yeah, if you didn't notice.
But geese are big and scary, strong birds.
Yes, that's true.
And I probably couldn't...
Okay, we can move on from the birds, okay. But that's okay.
Okay, so anyways, so the old woman says the same thing to Avienda about her not being an Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
And then Avienda introduces herself as Aiel, and that also shocks this old
Which
woman.
is like, wow, that is pretty crazy.
They're like, wow, the world really is ending.
Wow, amazing, incredible. Terrible, but, incredible.
Right. So finally, we get an introduction to this woman as Nesta.
Nesta, there's more to it.
Dinreas Two Moons.
Yep.
Mistress of the ships to the Atha Mir.
Yeah, mistress of the ships to the sea folk. So that's an important, because she introduces herself as that. Elaine knows what she is, like being essentially the queen, but Nynaeve has no friggin' clue.
How does Elaine know and Nynaeve doesn't?
Elaine has a royal background of being taught things. She's the daughter heir of Andor.
What you're saying is a formal education is important.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, there you go.
That's good. Okay, so this woman, Nesta,
asks,
how do you know what you know?
Yeah, how do you know about that stuff that's
and
secret?
Nynaeve's like, Nunya.
Yeah. Right? None of your business. We know what we know because we're Aes Sedai.
Because we're Aes Sedai.
Shove it.
Shove it.
And then goes on and berates the queen of the sea folk about her manners. So that's bad. And that's why Elaine steps in
has
again.
To smooth things over
Yeah,
again.
she's gotta do it.
Don't even bring Nynaeve with you.
Why is she here?
Why is she honestly, Nynaeve honestly has some very redeeming qualities. I think she's come a long way. Not far enough.
Yeah, it's just like lesson intact.
When you need to meet
general
with important
politeness.
people,
Yeah.
Nynaeve shouldn't be allowed to go. Quite
Especially
honestly,
when you want something.
just lock the door on your way out with the power, and she can't unlock it.
You're right, until she gets angry enough. That should give you enough time
Yeah,
to get out of here.
get out.
So, yeah.
Nynaeve. She honestly.
Right? Okay, anyways, back to it.
I haven't had a
here.
good Nynaeve rant in
That's
a
okay.
while. I've been trying really hard to see the good.
Yeah, there are a lot of good things about Nynaeve.
Not
and,
this chapter.
No, but, everybody has their, day in the sun, so.
Not today,
Anyways,
Nynaeve.
more importantly, Elaine says, hey, there's 2 reasons why we're here. The less important one is that we want to know how you mean to help the Dragon Reborn, because he's the Coromor.
He's your Kermer.
Yeah. Based on the Jendai prophecy, we know all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the more important one is we want to ask for help from the Windfinders here.
Right, because considering it has to do with the weather, and they know so much about weaving the wind.
Yeah, so time for the first glossary definition.
Perfect, because it's time for glossary definitions with Brett.
Okay, so this is, like I said, a big split up glossary definition, and it's all about the sea folk, since we're spending some time on the boat. The ship. Okay.
Oh yeah, stop calling it a boat.
The mistress of the ships has a level of authority any shorebound king or queen would envy. Yet she is elected for life by unanimous vote of the 12 senior wave mistresses, who are called the first 12 of the Athean Mier. One peculiarity of the sea folk is that all must begin at the very lowest rank and work their way up, and that anyone other than the mistress of the ships can be demoted by those above, even to the very bottom again in extreme instances.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of the wave finders or
wave mistresses
are
like the captains of the ship,
and they don't channel.
They don't channel. The wind finders are the channelers,
and they work their way up by being good at captains. Being good at what they do.
Yeah, they work.
It's
like an internal promotion system, and you have to work your way up from the bottom. So even Nesta, the queen, got elected to the position. We'll get into things a little bit more later.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but she was elected by unanimous vote.
Okay. Now, Nesta is not really having any of this. She's not about to be, told what to do on her boat here.
Oh, especially by the manners queen. Right?
Oh,
Come
my
on.
goodness, I know. And so, the manners queen. The manners police.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she tells them the bargain.
Yeah, capital B, the bargain.
Okay.
So that capitalization is important.
Right. Is with the Coromor. You have no part in it.
Okay, so pause for a second.
Okay.
Just remember, the bargain, capital B, is with the Coromor.
So they're gonna they're gonna work out a deal?
That's what it sounds like.
Ah.
Yeah, that's what
that's why they want to talk to Rand.
They want to talk with him, hey, we need to do the bargain with our Coromor.
Rand.
Right?
God.
Okay.
He's got a lot on his plate right now.
Sure, that's fair. He does. He does.
And Egwene tried to do a little bit of delegating to herself. Yeah. And failed.
When it wasn't her job to do that.
No, but you know who is on a sea folk ship? Or was?
Who?
Barrelane.
That's true.
I wonder what she's saying and doing.
Yeah, I mean, from the sounds of it, they want to bargain with the Coromor.
No, I get that. But
yeah, okay.
She sort of knows Rand and kind of speaks for him a little bit.
Possibly. I can see that.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then this Nesta says to Nynaeve, you, girl, what ship gave you the gift of passage, and who was his windfinder?
Right, because it's I want to know who did that, because they're going to get reprimanded.
Right. And Nynaeve gives her a smile and says, oh, I can't recall, and I'm Nynaeve Sedai, not girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Where are your manners? And oh
man, it's this is going very poorly, and this is good because this is when the old man jumps in. And he's like, hey, maybe we should figure out what they want because, we're in the days of the end of the world and the end times.
Yeah.
Because there's storms and there's a Coromor the world's on fire. What are we doing here? If they are really Aes Sedai.
Right. And so the Windfinder confirms that they can channel, and they're stronger than anyone she's met before.
Yeah, so it's like, that's a helpful tidbit. And I got the second part of the glossary definition for you.
Here it comes. Go for it.
Okay, so this next part is about the Master of the Blades. So the position of Master of the Blades is held by a man who may or may not be the husband of the Mistress of the Ships. So this old man is the Master of the Blades. Now, his responsibilities are the defense and the trade of the sea folk, and below him are the sword masters of the wave mistresses and the cargo masters of the sail mistresses.
Okay.
Remember
we
back?
Saw that.
We
there was
saw
one
that.
guy who
it
was
like
married
the guy.
To the other guy.
Yeah,
girl,
so they essentially have all the same position for the ships, where it's like the man is in charge of like the trade.
Yeah.
And then the woman is in charge of like where the boat goes and all that stuff.
But they have to work versus day to day.
Exactly, but there's similar positions and duties, but like higher ranks. So the Master of the Blades, and
obviously
the highest rank.
Yeah.
But they have to work together because the positions are interconnected.
Got it.
So just like a little bit about how it all works.
Okay, I won't remember any of that.
No, that's okay. But I'm saying it now so that I can remind you later. That's why I do most of this.
That's why you do it.
Yeah.
All right. So Aviendha senses the tension. And Nynaeve is about to explode in anger.
Yeah, Elaine's not doing so good either.
Angry, and Elaine is also a little bit mad because everything about them is in question. But fair.
Yeah.
Like, you understand, out of everybody, I think Elaine understands best the position that she's in as an Aes Sedai on this ship. And just because one sea folk was nice to you once, like, don't you remember how tricky it was for you to even get passage on that ship?
Yeah, very difficult.
It was a whole thing. You had to tempt them with a lot of money and all this stuff.
And they still almost didn't let you on there.
Yeah.
So I do like Aviendha's position, though, because she's like seeing all of her people on edge, and even Brigida's like on edge and on her toes. So she's like, okay, this is what I gotta do. I'm gonna have to embrace Idar. I'm gonna have to like kill this Windfinder first. We're gonna have to get the others, and there's probably like more Windfinders around. So she's just ready to lay waste a little bit. So I like that she's ready for it.
Well, it's interesting too because Aviendha's just like ready to kill everyone like with Saidar.
Yeah, she's ready for it. She's a wise one now.
Okay.
She can channel.
All right.
Let's do this.
Okay. There we go, I guess. So then now Elaine is going to take the lead on talking, and she says, "We seek a terangrial. And with it, we can fix the weather, but we can't do it alone. It will require many women working together, maybe a full circle of 13. We think those women should include Windfinders. No one else knows so much of the weather, not any Aes Sedai living. So we need you." Plus, she also doesn't mention that no Aes Sedai living is gonna help them. So,
well,
like,
they're far,
there's
there's things, but I got to give her props because one of the things that actually is really helping Elaine and Nynaeve is that most people we've met respect Elaine and Nynaeve because Elaine is like the only person who ever admits to not knowing things or not knowing all things about any topic.
Right.
So that's how they gained like Tylen's trust. Because she was like apologizing for stuff,
right,
and not being total dicks to her.
Yeah.
Here, like just saying for the fact, like the initial encounter with the sea folk, she's like, I've never seen anyone do anything so awesome as this. Like, amazing. Can you teach me?
Right.
And that's something they'd never even considered that would happen with Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
So props to Elaine.
Cool. All right. Now this speech that Elaine gives is met with dead silence until the Windfinder, whose name is.
We haven't done
we haven't done it? Okay,
the Windfinder hasn't been introduced yet.
I thought I missed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Windfinder asks if this terangrial has a name. And so I was wondering, because Elaine is like, it's a terangrial we're looking for. But do the sea folk know of the word terangrial?
Oh, yeah, I mean, probably. Oh, I think maybe we did get the Windfinder's name. It's Doral Din Aaron Longfeather. Yeah.
Doral.
Because at some
Dorally,
point,
probably.
At some point, they're like, "Oh, we didn't even get introductions," and then they introduce themselves. So, but anyways,
yeah,
not really important where it happens. But.
Okay, so the Windfinder is Dorally.
Doral, yeah, Dorally, Doral.
I don't know.
Yeah, just say Windfinder and Wave Mistress, and then Queen.
Yeah, but okay.
I'm giving you an out here.
I know.
Okay, just take it.
Okay. Anyway, so they're like, does this terrain girl have a name? What does it look like? And Elaine's like, it doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
But it's a thick crystal bowl, like 2 feet wide.
Yeah, it's
like,
a big one.
It's a big crystal bowl, and it looks like clouds.
Clouds. It's a cloud bowl?
It's a cloud bowl.
Cloud bowl.
And then the Windfinder cuts her off, and they're like, oh my god, the Bowl of the Winds. They have the Bowl of the Winds. And I was like, what? No, that's not what she said.
Yeah.
She clearly just told you she needs help looking for it. Her whole speech was that she doesn't have this. And they're like, oh my god, she has it.
She got caught up in the excitement.
Too excited.
Holy smokes.
Too exciting.
Yeah.
And Elaine's
well,
like,
to be fair,
no,
Elaine said we
we're
need help
looking...
using it.
Oh.
Yeah, we need help using this. That's why we want you should be a part of that.
Oh, I thought she said we need help finding it.
No, she's like,
oh, I just thought this whole thing was so funny.
We want you to be a part of it. And then she's like, whoa, we're looking for it. Yeah,
and we know it's in Ebudar. And then the sea folks start ranting and raving. Oh man, it's going to be found again after 2,000 years. It must be the Koramor.
Yeah, so here's a fun little tidbit. So I had previously done a glossary definition for Altara, and do you remember the name for the throne of Ebudar?
Nope.
The throne of Ebudar is called the Throne of the Winds.
It is?
Yeah.
Why?
And the Bowl of the Winds is in Ebudar.
Okay.
Yeah. And
is
also
it
possibly
in the palace?
No, we know there was in that storeroom.
Is it a bird bath in the garden?
Could be. Okay. So we saw the trip to Tel'aran'rhiod.
Right,
it was in a storeroom.
I know, I don't buy it.
Buried away. But before we went to Ebudar,
find it,
where did we go first?
Tar Valon.
We went to the White Tower, to one of the storerooms.
Yeah, but not to find that. To find a need that wasn't actually a need.
Yeah, and possibly to fix the weather again. We're not exactly
sure.
No.
What
we
they went,
need.
No. Don't throw me off with Tar Valon
just
stuff.
Okay.
I won't be thrown off with that.
Fine, fair.
No, thank you.
Anyways, the Throne of the Winds is the name of the throne.
Oh.
Fun little tidbit.
That is a fun tidbit that I did not remember.
Yeah, I know. That's okay.
I remember weird things, but not that one.
Yeah.
Tuck it away. All right. Anyway, so Nesta cuts off the 2 sea folk women. Wait, how many women are here right now?
So there's the Queen.
Yeah.
The Wave Mistress and the Windfinder, who are like...
Oh, those 2.
They're like, oh my god, she found the Bowl of the Winds. It's been 2,000... Yeah.
Malin and Dorley.
Malin and Dorley,
okay.
yeah.
And then Nesta cuts them off. She's the queen. She's like, hey, idiots.
Yeah.
Stop being idiots.
Yeah. Calm down a little bit here.
And then Nesta tells the man... Barak.
Yep.
To go summon other wave mistresses.
The first 12.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that some council?
Oh, you want another glossary?
Oh my god, is there another one?
Yeah, there's another one. Okay. So, the sea folk are divided into numerous clans, large and small, each headed by a wave mistress. Below her are the sail mistresses, the ship's captains of the clan, and then a wave mistress has vast authority, but she is elected to that position by the 12 senior clan sail mistresses, who are referred to as the first 12.
It's like the hall.
Yeah, it's basically the first 12 are the 12 most senior of whichever group, because then it gets a little bit more confusing, because the first 12 is also used for the 12 senior wave mistresses or sail mistresses present in any gathering. So it's basically the 12 most senior people in any circumstance are going to be the first 12. So in this circumstance,
seniority
the first 12,
matters, is what you're telling me.
Seniority matters. The most senior people are going to come here because the Bowl wins.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
Summon them.
Also get tea.
Get tea. We want some tea.
Yeah.
So the ship mistress...
Yep. Just keep going with it. You got this.
Oh my god. Settles in with Elaine and Nynaeve and apparently start their bargaining.
Yeah.
Now the wave mistress...
Nesta and Elaine and Nynaeve are going to do their little bargain.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was going to say the wave mistress and Windfinder...
are not in that conversation with Nesta.
Right.
Nesta, the queen of the sea folk, is with Elaine and Nynaeve.
Yeah.
And then the wave mistress and the Windfinder, who are like Malin and Doyle, are not included in that conversation.
And they start talking with Avienda and Brigida.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's going on here.
The channeler goes with the channeler, so the Windfinder goes with Avienda. She's like, channelers, gonna go chat it out. And then Brigida goes with the non-channeler, the wave mistress.
Got it. Okay. So they're chatting.
Yeah.
And the sea folk want to hear Aviendha and Brigida's stories.
Yeah. Brigida's stories, because it's like, hey, how did you know
what to say?
Like, did you used to live with us? And it kind of goes like a back and forth thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the whole, like, when did you live among us? It made me feel like they knew it was Brigida from the stories and that she'd lived a bunch of lives.
Yeah, no, not that.
It was very, like, whoa.
It's like someone used such an obscure, super weird reference to something, and you're like, whoa, you're part of that in-crowd? Like, how did you do that?
How did you know? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, and then also, Doralee asks Aviendha about the Aiel.
Because she's read stuff.
Because, you know, how Aiel women have to kill every man.
Kill a man every day.
Kill a man every day.
Yeah.
How are there any men left?
Yeah, if every woman kills a man every day, it's like there's not going to be any men left, so how does that even work?
And Aviendha's like, how could you think such nonsense?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we get a snippet of the conversation between Nesta, Elaine, Aviendha.
Yeah. Because they're doing the bargain, right?
Right. And then Nesta is saying, you came to me, not I to you. That sets the basis here.
Yeah.
Even if you are Aes Sedai.
So basically, she's going
to
to want
So we can imagine how that conversation's going.
Nesta wants the upper hand because, like, you came to me for help, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then the man comes back.
Yep.
Tells Aviendha and Brigida that their boat took off immediately.
Yeah.
After they came up.
Which makes sense.
But don't worry, because we have boats to get you back to shore. And then he joins the discussion that Elaine and Nynaeve are having.
Yeah, so with Nesta. Yeah, because they kind of work in unison.
That's right. And so then we go back to Malin asking Brigida if she knows the ancient oaths.
Yeah, like, how do you know that stuff?
And then Doralee asks Aviendha, do you really tie down a man before you do him?
Yeah.
And then, oh, I mean, that's embarrassing. I didn't mean to ask that.
Shouldn't have asked, but, you
Are
know.
many Aiel women as strong in the power as you?
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because Aviendha's super powerful, too, so.
Sure. And then, you know, the chapter ends with Aviendha feeling terrible about her suggestion that if they can't make it back to Egwene, they should ask the sea folk for help.
Yes, yeah. So this was all her idea.
Right.
And here's the thing. Do you remember what I asked you to remember at the beginning of this chapter? The thing that you'd forgotten. Aviendha has heard the dream about...
Oh, you didn't even give me a chance to answer.
Yeah, okay. But, well, it's not a big secret. I want you to remember that. So, the key to finding the bull is to find the one who is no longer.
The one who is no longer. Ooh, is it Brigida? The one who is no longer in Tel'aran'rhiod?
Okay. Wait, so it's not Swan?
Probably
or
not
Morghese,
at this point.
Or
Probably
Marilyn?
not at this point.
Okay.
Probably not at this point.
That's fair. Okay.
The one who is no longer in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Is she in the room
it's
right
Brigida.
now? Yeah?
The one who is no longer the queen of the sea folk.
What's happening to Nesta?
No. Someone else. Who got demoted? Because you just told me they can get demoted.
Okay, well, no, not Nesta. Nesta can't. She got elected for life.
Oh.
She's the only one who can't. Everybody else, though.
Someone who is no longer... Yep.
Okay, that's a doozy. That's a tough one.
I can keep making things up.
I mean, you can, but we don't have that much time. Because we have to get off to the races.
That's right. Okay, now, and before we move on, I do have a Harry Potter reference that I was hesitant to make.
Okay.
Because Dumbledore does have a large, shallow bowl, which sometimes can look cloudy.
Okay.
When you're gonna go look at past memories.
That's where you put your face in it.
Put your face in. It's the pensive.
I'm gonna spoil it for you. This bowl works the same way. They gotta put their faces in the bowl.
Put your face in the bowl.
Put your face
in the bowl. And then you
bowl.
fall into it.
Right? And on theme,
we're
gonna do a shot.
Out of bowls.
Not quite cloud bowls, but little sushi bowls.
Little
miso soup bowls. Because that's the kind of night that it is.
That is the kind of night that this is.
There you go.
Okay.
So cheers to the cloud bowl.
Yeah. I don't want to do this. I just got scared.
I mean, functionally, it works the same way.
Oh, yeah, but there was no way to measure how much was in there.
It's hard to say. Yeah.
Does whiskey kill COVID?
It might. We can try.
Kill it. Get it.
Ooh, Galadriel has a cloud bowl in Lord of the Rings.
Oh!
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
He does?
She
does?
one. She does. And it's like for seeing the past, present, future sort of I mean, it's, from the movie, remember when they get... Yeah,
Don't worry, though.
it's
J.K.
fine.
Rowling never read any fantasy.
It's all original ideas. It's cool.
All original.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun. So with that, let me put on my derby hat.
It's lovely.
Do you love it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Great. I don't always wear hats, but when I do, I like it. I don't know. Okay, so chapter 14, White Plumes.
Yeah.
And our chapter symbol is 5 dice because we're with our boy.
Here we go.
We're with my boy Matt.
Yep, hanging out.
What more could I ask for? It's like hectic and fun, and here we go.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Let's go to the races. Let's get there.
Good callback. Good book 1 callback.
Right?
I was not expecting that.
It's so funny because, you think that the Pater callback is wow.
Ooh.
And then he just, RG sucker punches you here. It's
another.
hey.
It's another.
And, better.
Better.
Right?
It makes me want to go
eyes.
back and be like, what other dark friends are we going to run across?
Well, you never know. Okay.
All right. So, Matt is at a place called the Silver Circuit, which is a place for racing horses.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Horse races.
That's where he's hanging out the entire time. It's
and
most
it's
of
not
his time.
quite, I imagine it's not quite Kentucky Derby level stuff.
It's
probably
not.
It's like an Ebudar, dirt track.
Yeah.
I just imagine that it's not quite.
Not quite as fancy.
It feels like every town has a place that looks like this.
Yeah, so, Matt's description of Ebudar is, they really like their fancy, grand names, like the Queen's Glory and Radiance.
That made me laugh out loud.
Really?
I loved
it's so fancy.
I loved it. The Queen's Glory and Radiance. And we know the Queen, literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If this was in Camelin,
it's maybe.
It wouldn't have made me laugh, right? But...
Yeah.
Here,
so that's the Ebudar thing. It's
so
big
funny.
names, and it sounds fancy, but it's really not necessarily as fancy as they like to think that it is. So,
right.
I mean, sure, I get it.
Yeah, no, that was funny, and I liked that.
And also, most importantly, there are seagulls. There are birds.
There are birds here.
It's really sweaty and hot.
It's hot here.
Yeah.
It's hot outside.
Yeah.
In case you happen to forget.
Yeah.
Now, this is how Matt has been passing the time quite a bit. And Oliver is just loving being a little jockey.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it was Nalesian's first, he was the one who first made that happen.
Yeah.
And now that it's happened, it's
Oliver
loves
He's
it.
Addicted.
You can't cut him off now.
Can't cut him off. It's his sport.
Yep. And I will say,
and he's good at it.
There's a separation in the actual crowd of the rich people and the poor people, and Matt is on the rich people side.
Separated by thick ropes and poles. Matt's on the rich people side, and everyone's wearing fancy hats and have manservants and maids, and
all the good stuff.
Drinking
Yeah.
mint juleps and eating derby pie.
There you go. Bunch of references.
That's from our Discord.
Yeah.
I don't know any of that. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but
here's the thing. I will say that it's important to note that all the rich people have manservants and maids. That comes back. That comes back later.
Yeah. Now, Brett, I have a question for you that I know the answer to.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been to horse races?
I have not.
Yeah.
But you...
I have been.
You have been, yes.
One time, I did. I went in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
To the Assiniboia Downs.
There you go.
Very fancy. Not really.
No.
Not fancy.
It's about Silver Circuit level.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, but we did do a buffet.
There you go.
Dinner and
right?
brought a roll of toonies. And you bet on the horses to either place or something else.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can bet whether they're coming first, second, or third. That's the whole thing. And I specifically remember, I really liked in this chapter how horses had funny names.
Sure, yeah.
I wish the horses had funnier names.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
I specifically
That's like a classic thing.
Remember, I bet on a horse named Soccer Dan. Because that's me.
That's basically you.
That's basically me. I'm Soccer Dan. Because I play soccer and my name's Dan.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. And it wasn't expected to win, and it did.
Wow.
And I won a little bit of money.
With your $2
$4. But
perfect.
I don't even remember. But it was
how many buffet
story.
Meals could you buy with that?
Oh yeah, it was pricey.
At least
it was
one.
An experience.
I get it.
It was an experience.
No, that works. That works.
It was pretty fun.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyway, okay. Back to reality. In Matt's reality. Back to the non-reality. Yeah. Actually. Okay. Also, we need to clarify: a toonie is a Canadian $2 coin.
Right. Yes.
Because the loonie is a $1 coin with the bird the loon on it.
Yes.
So we call it a loony.
Yep.
That's a $1 coin, and it's a toonie because
Yeah.
that was very Canadian of us.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even think to even say anything or clarify that. And in the Discord chat, they're like, what's that? Okay. Now Matt is going to flag down one of the bookers, and he wants to bet a bunch of toonies as well.
He does. All of his toonies, in fact.
All of the
it.
toonies.
Yeah.
The whole roll. The whole bag of toonies.
Yeah, I do really actually like this bit here because he takes a look at the odds and it's like the whole chalkboard behind or whatever,
Yep.
and he sees his horse Wind is only third favorite, but he's like, hey, Nelician, put all her money on Wind.
Yeah. And Elysian's like, really? Like, I get that he's like our horse and he's like our child.
And you're pretty sure that he's going to win, but it's like
But
all
like,
of it.
really?
Like, how about half of it?
Are you playing favorites here, or...
No, but I love this because a lot of the guys, like, obviously Matt has his luck thing, and it's like, okay, are you really lucky? Because Elysian even mentions, like, hey, I've seen you lose before. It's possible. But Matt is so confident, and it has nothing to do with his luck. It's because Matt knows horses.
He knows horses, but he also probably has some luck.
Well, I'm giving Matt the credit here because Matt's dad is a horse trader. He knows his horses. Matt's always known his horses. Matt knows he has a skill, and you can't just say Matt's not good at anything. It's only his luck that gets him through.
He's got skills. Said that.
I know you were thinking it. You're like,
no, Matt's my boy.
No way.
I'm on board with whatever he does.
Give Matt credit where credit is due to Matt.
Fine.
On his ability.
Here I go, giving Matt his credit.
There you go. There's even a whole sentence about like, oh, this one had his tail cropped or something.
Yes.
And this one's butt looks bad.
Swat the flies.
It's going to drive him crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, or one's haunches or something.
Something.
Right? I don't know enough about horses.
You don't know anything, actually, about horses. So
actually, I know like roughly 3 things about horses.
I was going to say, I really wish I had my own, because I'm the horse facts person around here.
You are one of the horse facts people.
That's my job. My job is horse facts.
Anyways.
And I don't have one here.
No time for that now.
No. Because Nelician's going to, like, grumble about giving over all these coins.
But it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. And
so,
again, we get, like, lots of little bits.
Oh, my God. We have so much stuff here.
They're little bits of information because at one point the booker's like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to take all this money, but...
Hey, listen. You want to hear something?
Sure.
Normally, when there's all this exposition about a bunch of stuff going on...
Yeah.
I skip it.
Yeah,
Not
I know,
like
but
skip it, but like I glaze it. But what I wanted to tell you was this chapter... I found all of this stuff interesting.
Okay.
And I was half curious to know if something was gonna go on.
Yeah.
In like exchange of money and that kind of stuff. So it did happen to go on and on and on and on.
Well, we get
but
like
I read it and I was interested in it.
Hey, I appreciate that you read the chapter. You read all the words of the chapter.
It's a big deal for me.
It is, yeah. So I like
because I didn't catch that there were a bunch of sea folk ship in the bay.
That's fair.
That I did not read.
I do like the overly grand name of the Bookers, the Illustrious and Honored Guild of Bookers.
Uh-huh.
Right? That's their guild name.
Love it.
Yeah, so they claim they'll take wagers in any amount, so she doesn't have a choice. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen. Even, this is a lot. Matt bets a lot.
All of his money.
Basically.
Except for his little secret money.
His little secret money.
He's got secret money.
Which he uses to buy a beautiful ring that he loves.
Well,
later.
some of that money is for that, but you know.
Yeah,
he's got a secret stash.
That's for jewelry shopping.
Yeah, jewelry shopping, and if he loses all his money, he can get the money back from that little nest egg.
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
And that covers most of the couple of pages, at least. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure,
There's a whole back and forth about Elysian being like, hey,
no.
Sure, your luck's in. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then we find out Oliver's a jockey. It's like, this is happening.
Yeah, no, we got that. And then Matt is concerned, though, if Wind can break out into the lead and stay there, because the jockeys here are known to hit each other with their switches.
That is really important.
And if Oliver gets bruised or injured, then he's never going to hear the end of it from the innkeeper who's taking care of him.
Satala Nan, so she's like the older lady.
Right, and her daughter's like watching
babysit Oliver. Yeah, so.
Because she wants a son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to remember the innkeeper's name.
Right, and then another mention, too, I have to say, about how ugly Oliver is.
Right, yes.
Yeah. He's ugly, in case you forgot.
Yeah.
He's not an attractive kid.
But hopefully he'll be rich if he stays with Matt.
Okay. Sure.
Right? That's what they say.
That is not what they say. Nope.
Hopefully you have money.
No.
Sorry, Oliver.
Yeah, probably not that, but that's okay. So now, an interesting turn of events. Julian comes through the crowd.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sort of interesting. It's like a timestamp for when things are happening.
Yeah. And so now Matt is like, oh my god, let me guess. They're out of the palace again. No one knows where they are. No one has any idea what's happening. Sounds typical.
Yeah.
And then Julian's like, actually, no. We saw them go and we know where they're going.
Yeah. They took a coach from the palace to the river. They hired a boat. Tom's following them to see where they're going. And it doesn't look like they're going anywhere terrible because they're all dressed up in silk dresses.
And Matt's all annoyed because, of course, this is just like women.
Yeah. Dude, the same thing over and over again. So I think that's going to happen. And then change what you're doing.
Switch it up. Just for you, Matt. They're
Terrible.
just doing it to annoy you for sure.
Yeah. Whole bunch of stuff. And that covers another couple of pages.
Then because he's here in Abu Dhar, because he promised Rand to get Elaine to Camelin, blah, 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 recap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the same stuff.
Grumbles on and on for a bit.
And he says, Julian, go back to see Tom and tell me what's going on, because I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting, too, because they specifically just said, let's talk to Matt about this. And so that's what I thought would happen in this chapter.
Well, and here's the thing. Now we kind of know the time frame. So, number one, we've got Lan on his way to come and see Nynaeve, but he's a couple of days out.
Yeah, a couple days.
Couple days.
He said he could get there faster than 5 or 6, but probably we're talking like 2 or 3.
It's going to be Lan going as hard as Lan can go to get to the woman he loves.
He could probably cut it in half.
Probably cut it in half. So, 3 days out.
3 days max.
3 days out. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And then we've got Matt, who's gambling, but Brigida is soon going to be on her way to come talk to him about helping them find the Bowl of the Winds.
Right. And I thought he was going to disappear here.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know what was going to result from this whole thing.
Doesn't seem like that, so.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it's really funny because the first half of this chapter is a bunch of exposition where you kind of stop paying attention. And then we get this little paragraph where Matt's looking around the race course, and then we get some descriptions of random people and faces.
Uh-huh.
And you probably skip over them.
I didn't.
Or at least not pay tons of attention.
No, because specifically for some reason, his eyes go back to the sharp-faced woman who seems about Nynaeve's age, and for some reason makes him think of Straw.
But here's the thing, that's only one of the people that he sees, and there's more than just her who's important.
Yeah.
So we get the bent, white-haired old man with the hooked nose.
Yeah.
And then we've got the sharp-faced woman. And then we've got the tall fellow who looks like a stork. And then a young woman coming out of her dress at the top.
Oh, yeah.
So, of all the things.
Of all the things.
The inner lining of the boob area? Is that what it was? Inner slopes of the boobs.
Of the breasts.
Okay.
Idiot.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Of course, that's what it is. But no time for any of that now.
So here's a question.
I hate all of this. Go.
When the description was, for some reason, made him think of Straw.
Yeah.
Did you at any point have any inkling before we get the reveal?
Yeah.
Were you able to put it together?
No.
Okay.
I had an inkling. It was wrong.
Okay.
My inkling was Aludra.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
That would have been interesting, too.
It was interesting, and let me tell you why it gets further. That was my initial thought, because Straw in a hay, bale, or wherever they were in a stable, because then he thinks later stable, and that's the last woman I knew he, had an interaction with.
That's all very good, because I think the other,
And because, specifically, Nalisian just said the Illuminators are going to have a show.
Right.
There's Illuminators here.
Little hints.
And I know that Aludra is not with them, but it's possible she's kind of tailing them to make sure they don't find her or something.
Or they just run it, because they have a relationship already, sort of.
Yeah.
Like Aludra and Matt.
And he just does this weird thing where he recognizes faces but can't place them because of all his memories.
And that could be a thing. You've seen Aludra, twice, 3 times, and it's you might not remember her right away, but then get the hints of straw and fire and knives.
Stable.
And stable. Those are all things that happen with Aludra, too. Yeah. It's a great guess.
Thank you. It was wrong.
It's wrong, but that was a great guess.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's what I was thinking. Because I thought maybe she did her hair different, out of the braids or something. Because she's
hiding. Yeah.
Hiding, yeah. Oh, we also didn't talk about the woman that Nalisian has his eyes on because he wants to buy her gifts.
That's why he's so concerned about the money. Because he's hey, I'm trying to impress a girl, and if we lose all of our money, I can't buy her things.
Buy her trinkets.
Which is really
likes
it's
trinkets.
A funny thing, because that's the joke that he tells Matt.
I know,
after.
that's why I wanted
really
to say it, because
funny,
I wanted to make sure he get that joke in later.
There's so much back and forth this chapter, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
It is a lot. But now, Matt goes back to thinking about Brigida and Avienda being able to take care of themselves for sure.
Yeah.
And Elaine and Nynaeve being the type to berate him for meddling and then berate him for not being there when he was needed. So he's like, what should I be doing right now?
The thoughts are going, yeah.
And then the, quote, fox-faced woman pops into his view again. And you know what you should never describe someone as?
Fox-face.
In terms of Matt?
Right, fox face.
Fox.
Ooh, shoot.
Oh my god, right away I was like, what?
Right.
Are the foxes, like, out chasing him?
Oh no, they escaped. Yeah, not even that.
In human form?
Yeah.
I feel like RJ knew. He knew. He
of course
knew
he knows.
Specifically
of course he knows.
that would be triggering.
Yes.
Anyway, so I went, what? And then he thinks not straw stable. This is where he thinks about the,
Luger stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of good times in stables with lots of women, but not noble women, which this lady appears to be.
Yeah.
Which again is important because like all the nobles have maids and manservants.
And this one doesn't.
This one doesn't.
Yeah. And then he thinks about a knife. Why would she make me think of a knife and fire or something burning? And that's when I was like, oh, is this a Ludra?
Yeah.
And so again, no, it's not. But we have no time for that now.
Yeah, and I feel for Matt because he does, again, really just drilling into us that the memories from the other people
are really fucking with his mind.
Really hard, and he can't distinguish what is actually his life and what's not. So he could be thinking of something legitimately 1,000 years ago.
1,000 years ago. He even thinks to himself that Brigida sometimes
tickled his memory.
Tickles his memory.
Tickled the memory.
My favorite line.
Yes.
Now, Matt thinks about how Nynaeve and the others have been avoiding him, and he's been to the palace 5 times so far.
Yeah, he's trying.
And they've only seen him once, and they basically just, like, brushed him off.
Yeah.
So,
well, they talked to him once, and they were like, get out of here.
Yeah.
To tell him that.
Right.
Rude.
So, down on the racetrack, the horses are lining up, and Nelician is, like, freaking out about their bet, and Matt's like, chill, it's fine.
I got this, man. He knows horses.
He knows horses.
He knows it.
So, the horses take off. There's a whole description about the race and how the race happens.
Yeah.
You know, there's like colored frillies.
Like the little announcer. I'm not going to do an impression, but everybody knows like the racehorse.
There's colored frillies on a pole, and the horses have to run and run around it.
And Oliver and Wynn basically like there's no issues. They break out in front. They're fine. They keep the lead.
They were in the lead the whole time.
Yeah, they did it.
And Matt doesn't even really
care.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It doesn't, because he can just win it back because it doesn't matter.
Right. And then suddenly he catches the woman's face again, and he sees her in pale green.
Ooh, okay.
And I remember specifically this scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought for sure this was an Aes Sedai.
Yeah, I remember that.
A green Aja.
And I was like, what? Why?
Black Aja.
What? Why?
It could have been.
But it's like, why didn't she use the power at all?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there were so many questions.
And that was, like, really
so early
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't know the rules of how, like, Aes Sedai were.
Like, literally, book 1.
So I was like, okay, this is an Aes... Oh, sure. Why not? But it's funny because it's the Pater situation all over again. Because I point out, like, oh, he's getting punched in the nose.
Yeah.
And he shows up later with a broken nose. And then this lady comes back.
This lady comes back.
I
said they should have killed her. Didn't I say that?
Probably.
I'm sure I said that.
Knowing you.
Knowing me.
Yeah.
I for sure thought she should have been killed.
But I mean, this was, to be fair, that was years ago, and maybe you've changed as a person. Maybe before...
Me, personally?
Maybe before you were like, oh, just tie her up and leave her.
Well, now I have to go back and listen.
Who knows what kind of person you were that long ago, but now...
I for sure said kill her.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't listen to that part.
I'm corrupted now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the issue. Dealing with all these stupid dark friends for years, and you're like, let's just start killing them.
Seriously.
I get it.
Kill them.
Yeah.
Dead. Because guess what, Brett? It's flashback time.
It is.
Whole flashback, italics and everything.
Yep, but from a different perspective.
From Matt's perspective.
Because...
it was from Matt's. No, it wasn't.
Book 1 was like Rand.
It was Rand.
Yeah.
That was all from Rand's perspective. Yeah, okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're making me second guess myself.
No. We didn't get a Matt perspective for a long time.
Like
Because remember, I wanted it. I wanted a Matt perspective so bad, and we didn't get
Rand's
one.
perspective.
It's Rand.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we revisit the scene.
Yep.
The whole scene.
The knife thing, the knife that like burns up in the wall.
In case you forgot who she is.
Yeah.
The listener, not you.
The noble woman who came to them in the stable when Rand was having channeling sickness.
On the Camelin Road.
On the Camelin Road. Rand was like sick with channeling sickness. Matt was already cursed Matt. He had the dagger. She tried to stab. Matt like caught her wrist or whatever.
Yeah.
Put it through the wall.
The dagger that she had was clearly a bad blade.
Magic dagger.
Magic dagger. Like a Thakindar one.
Possibly. Some sort of assassin knife.
Yeah, because then it started burning.
Yeah.
And that's why he was
And then Matt
burning.
put the Shadow Logoth blade against her, but didn't cut because that would have gone very poorly.
Yes, as we saw with the Shanchen man.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's all coming together.
There we go. That's the lady, and she's here.
Oh my god, what are the chances?
Is it coincidence or is it planned?
I feel like this whole world is actually quite smaller than we're led to believe.
Possibly.
Everyone just keeps running into everybody everywhere.
It happens.
Here we are. So, now at the races at the same day, this is amazing. Terrible. So, Nelisian is like cheering because Oliver and Wynn just won the race.
Yeah.
And Nelisian is like, I'm going to go find the booker before she tries to run off without paying.
Keep in mind, Nelisian's a noble, and he's a jerk. Because Terran nobles are generally jerks.
Yes.
Right?
They don't like poor people.
Yeah, Julian is a Terran also, but he's a commoner.
Right.
So they have like this little thing. And Nelisian's like, oh, she's going to try and steal her money. But it's like, no, Matt points out, she's like, she's right there.
Yeah.
I can see her. And no, she's not going to run off because
part of the Booker's Guild.
They're going to like murder her if she tries to rip people off.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen.
Right. And then Matt looks back at the Dark Friend woman who clearly lost.
Yeah.
And she's about to leave.
She's stomping on her little token.
Yeah, she's angry about it.
That's how you know she's a Dark Friend.
Oh, because she gets angry?
Yep.
Is Nynaeve a Dark Friend? Because she's never not angry.
Prove me wrong.
I know.
Right?
No. Don't even go there. Okay, now Matt tells Nelisian, take the winnings, back to the inn, take Oliver, or not Oliver, sorry, Oliver.
Yeah.
Make sure he gets his reading lesson.
Yeah.
So we don't get in trouble.
Yep.
And then Nelisian says, where are you going? And Matt says, I saw a woman who tried to kill me. And Nelisian says, give her a trinket next time.
Because they had the whole back and forth about the trinkets.
So
it's very funny. Very good. Yep.
Okay. And so now Matt heads after the woman.
Yeah.
And it's not very difficult because she's got big white plumes on her hat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure plumes are like feathers or something.
Flowers? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can they be? Maybe? I don't know enough about plumes.
I would say like a big fluffy thing.
Big thing. Okay.
A big thing.
Yeah.
Maybe flowers and feathers.
I want to say like Victorian, like I don't know the words well enough, but it's like Victorian era something.
Uh-huh.
It needs to be bigger.
Yeah.
Your hat's nice and all, but it needs to be up.
No, my plume is not plumey.
I need to see it through a crowd of people.
You would miss me in a crowd. I'd be able to sneak out, no problem.
No problem with that hat. Bigger
hat.
hat.
And also because I'm short.
True. That's why you need a hat at least as tall as you are.
At
10
least.
feet.
10 feet. Me and Loyal.
There you go.
Hanging out. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Matt's confused about this woman. She's dressed like a noblewoman. She doesn't have a maid. She's clearly a Dark Friend who tried to kill Matt.
Yeah, she also doesn't have a chair or a coach. Like, she's literally walking through the street. And that's not what, like, nobles do. That wouldn't happen. Especially in the heat.
Yeah. And so Matt follows her, like, super casually.
Yeah. Probably not as casually as he thinks.
And on the way, we get a big description of how white and plastery Ebudar is.
Because it's really hot, so you need, like, the white and the
white plaster.
Air vents in the buildings and stuff, like big windows. And...
So Matt realizes the woman has stopped, and so he has to stop too. And he looks quickly for, like, the table that's in front of him.
Yeah, because she looks back, and he's like, I'm
shopping.
Turns to the table.
Here I am.
I'm going to buy this.
And so the shopkeeper's like, cool, want to buy a new ring?
Excellent.
And Matt's not really listening, and so he just randomly points. He's like, yeah, that one, and pretends to be shopping for a ring for a while.
Okay, but don't just, like, skim over this, because he's trying to earn a living here, and, like, there's major money. It's Ebudar. It's like
the
refugees.
Shopkeeper, you mean?
Yeah. You're just gonna skip over
this.
He makes custom rings because he's like, hey, I also work in gold and silver. What would you like to have on your new signet ring?
This doesn't matter at all.
I can't believe you would do this to this guy. He's just trying to earn a living.
Uh-huh. And he earns a living here.
Yeah, he does.
So
it's
Matt
so good. Okay.
shoves the ring on his finger. He's waiting for the woman because she's shopping at some different
She's
shop.
like looking at a necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Matt thinks about his options for confronting her, which are basically nothing.
Yeah, it's not good. So
I don't know what he's doing here and like why he's following her.
We're not sure. Part of the pattern.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's like a little bit maybe.
Because...
Yeah. Well, because he's thinking like there's a guard.
What are you going to do? Like, she literally is a dark friend who tried to kill you.
Yeah, I could confront her and maybe best case scenario, they like arrest her, but then they're just like, what? They're going to let her go.
And he's not even doing that. Like, he's literally just following her through the streets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what his plan was. Like, this was stupid.
Kill her in an alley.
Maybe. Honestly, I'd be okay with that.
That'd be
You tried
better.
to kill me. I should have killed you before, and now I'm killing you.
Yeah.
Because you're clearly a dark friend.
Yeah.
But what if she's come to the light?
Back to the ring.
What if she's like...
She walked into Jacob Carradine's house. Like, I don't think she's come back to the light.
We know.
Okay, but he doesn't.
But he doesn't know, because if now she's hanging out with White Cloaks, maybe she is reformed.
Oh, yeah, because Matt's the guy who's going to be like, oh, all White Cloaks are good?
No.
Okay, anyways.
I don't know.
Back to the important part, the ring, because Matt puts the ring on, and then it gets stuck.
Yeah.
And then she starts to leave.
What about how the woman smiles at a White Cloak in the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
I missed that.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Uh-huh.
So, White Cloak.
That's all there is.
We
don't need to talk about it. I just said it.
So, but we missed the whole thing about, like, getting the grease to get the ring off, and then he, like, throws money down, but then the ring pops off.
Right.
And he's like, and the shopkeeper's like, nope, it's my money now.
No, it doesn't pop off till later.
It comes off right after he pays.
As he's, like, running away, I thought.
He just paid the shopkeeper, and then he pulls it off.
You know what doesn't matter.
And the shopkeeper, like, scoops the money in.
No, because even the shopkeeper is like, this is too much money.
Yeah, he gives some change.
Yeah, he's like, because he thinks he's like about to get in trouble, or he's being like scammed or schemed or something.
It's a little bit of both. Everybody's getting ripped off here a little bit.
It's Candid Camera. Are you honest? Are you a honest shopkeeper? Do you remember Candid Camera?
I do remember that, yeah.
That was the first...
Back when we had to watch TV to watch videos.
Right, shoot, yeah.
Okay,
anyway. So... The woman keeps going. Matt runs off. He has a wildly expensive ring he just bought.
In his pocket now.
That he pops in his pocket.
It came off.
But I have a theory that this ring is going to mean something later.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems like
so you didn't even want to talk about the ring.
There's so much emphasis on this stupid ring and this whole scenario.
Okay.
And the fact that he buys it by accident.
Well, it's his new signet ring.
The thing that happens with Matt, like nothing happens by accident.
Okay, that's fair.
And so this ring in his pocket is going to come back to be something probably in like 3 books.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So remember that he got a ring. It's kind of like when I just remember you talking about the letter. Remember how there's the letter on his table and you're like, oh my God, is that letter going to like make it? Because he tossed it casually.
Yes.
And it's like, no, it made it. So
I'm going to be on the lookout for everything.
Okay. I like that. I appreciate that.
I'm halfway through now, you know. I feel like I know a little bit what I'm doing.
A little bit, yeah.
I gotta just find everything and speculate on everything.
Yeah.
That's how I know what I'm doing.
At some point you might get it right.
At some point I'm right.
Okay.
If I just say everything, right? I just had a feeling about this one.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So now the woman is out of sight. Matt hustles down the street, jumps on statues to like find her.
It's a whole chase scene,
sort of. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of Chandler running down the street to see Kathy running down the street.
Oh,
he's, like, jumping over cars and, like, runs through a hot dog stand and, like, so whole thing.
I was going to say, there's no, like, fruit carts being knocked over here.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some people do make fun of Matt for, like, being up on a statue.
That's true. That is true.
There's real women you can find or something like that.
It's like holding on to the inner
slopes of a bosom. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's get to the end of this chase scene because that's where the important bit happens.
Okay. So just when Matt thinks that he's lost her, he sees her almost at the top of a wide set of stairs leading into a palace.
Like a mini palace. It's not a big palace.
It's just like a mansion, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a mini mansion palace.
There's still servants around who greet her, and she's definitely known here. And she goes into this palace and the door is closed. And then for a minute, he just stands there and he's like, what do I do now?
Yeah,
who lives here? What's going on?
Here's the thing. He knows that she doesn't live here because people who live in this kind of house, even though it's a small palace, would still have servants and stuff, so she wouldn't have to walk. So he knows that it's not her house.
She's a guest.
She's a guest to somebody.
And he's like, I'm going to have to go to a bunch of taverns to find out who lives here. But he says out loud, who in the pit of doom lives here?
Yeah, yeah.
And then some guy.
Yep.
Scrawny white-haired fellow.
Not just some guy, it's the guy.
The guy.
The guy from the race. The white-haired guy whose description, people might glaze over.
Right. Yeah. Hook-nosed scrawny guy. I was like, is this like Pat Fane or something?
No, this isn't Pat Fane. No, but it's the guy who was at the race, who was standing close to her.
Right, okay.
So it's like, why was he there, and why is he now here?
And why is he now here lounging in the shadows?
Answering Matt's question, and then is gone.
Gone, immediately. This is also sketchy.
Yeah, so he says, Carradine, and Matt's like, wait, what? And the
guy who lives here.
Yeah, you asked who lives here.
This is the Chessaline Palace.
Nope. Chelsane?
Chelsane?
Because the holiday was the Chessaline.
Oh, hi, Chessaline was the holiday in Kyrian.
Couldn't figure out how to pronounce.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is,
Chessaline.
Chelsane Palace. It's borrowed to Jacob Carradine.
Jacob Carradine's here.
He's here now. It's not his. He's renting it.
He's renting it. Now, hold on. Was it the epilogue of Lord of Chaos where we saw a dark friend lady seeing Nynaeve and Elaine?
Yeah.
Or doing stuff? Or was like out watching out for them?
Yep. Or knowing about that? Yep.
And then we also saw... What was the last time we saw Jacob Carradine?
Last time we saw Jacob Carradine was in the Terrasen Palace with Tylin. And Nynaeve and Elaine were like, whoa, Carradine's in the palace here? And Tylin was like, yeah, White Cloaks are in town. I'm the queen. I have to let anybody in here, even though I don't like White Cloaks either. But, like, cool that you're like, yeah, he's awful.
Right.
So and we know that he's here. And in the prologue, when Niall got murdered, he was like, oh, Jacob Carradine already has his orders on what to do with the situation in Abu Dar.
Okay.
So, like, he's here doing stuff.
He's here doing stuff, and
we
potentially this woman might be the woman that we saw from in the epilogue.
No, we got a name for that person.
Oh.
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
What's the name?
She was one of the ones who, hold on. Phalion.
Oh, right, because I thought it was the one
she was
from
one of the
Saladar camp.
She was one of the Black Aja sisters who originally left the tower.
Oh, Black Aja's sister.
Yeah, that's the one you were talking about.
I was trying to make a connection.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that, but potentially connected.
Yeah, well, she's also looking for the Cloud Bowl.
The sister is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Black Aja is also looking for the Cloud Bowl, and with Avienda's knowing of the dream is like, hey, if the right person finds it, it's going to be awesome. If the wrong people find it, it's going to be terrible.
It's going to be bad.
So it all connects.
All right.
Okay.
And now at this point in the chapter, though, Matt starts humming to himself and thinks about Jacob Carradine being an inquisitor for the Hand of the Light.
Yeah.
Who just had a dark friend visitor.
And, like, we know that he's Bors.
Yes.
We know he's a dark friend.
That's right.
But now Matt knows that a dark friend is with Jacob Carradine, and Nynaeve and Elaine know that Jacob Carradine's terrible.
Yeah.
And it means literally nothing because, like, what are they going to do?
Because they're not going to communicate with each other. And in all honesty, like, if I was Matt in this situation, I would think that this woman is posing and that Carradine doesn't know she's a dark friend.
Yeah.
And that she's pretending to be a friend of the light and the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
That's what makes the most sense.
Which is, and that's the thing. It's like he knows things, but he doesn't know enough about any of this for it to actually matter at this point.
Right.
It's just for us as the reader. It's like,
ooh,
yeah, dark friends are shacking up together. I guess.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, like, I guess a couple puzzle pieces fit in together here, but like, we're not even close. I feel like
Egwene from last episode where she's like, I get it, I don't get it.
I don't get
like,
it.
I
get it, but no, I don't get it.
I'm going to need a little more explanation.
I got something, but no, I don't get it. Yeah. There's a puzzle piece, like, under the couch.
Yes, I
that
found
someone's going to find.
You're like, aha!
That the cat chewed up. And we'll see.
I found a missing puzzle piece. I don't know which puzzle it belongs to, though.
Yeah. You know, I do have a thing in my classroom. I have a bin for lost puzzle pieces.
Oh my god, that's the worst.
And so anytime we do a puzzle and it's missing a piece, we go to the bin.
Go to the bin. Okay.
And that's where I am right now. I'm in the bin of lost puzzle pieces.
That's where Matt is. So to end the chapter, he then connects. And he's like, whoa, wait. the white-haired dude is the same dude from the Silver Circuit, and he looks back and he's gone.
He's gone, and he's like, that guy looked so familiar.
That's
oh my
the guy.
God.
That's the guy. And then he can feel the dice tumbling in his head suddenly, and that's always a bad sign.
And I wrote, uh-oh, here we go.
So people are following that. That's the other thing.
I feel like we're finally out of our recapping.
We are, sure,
I mean, like, there was some recapping, but not as much as there has been.
True.
We're almost halfway through the book, I think.
We're getting into book 7 stuff.
We're halfway.
Yeah.
Almost, and we're finally getting into some stuff gonna happen, maybe.
Here we go.
Because this is still set up from last book.
Yeah.
This is still set up from last book.
A little bit.
So, let's go.
Don't worry.
I'm excited.
It's gonna all happen at once.
Awesome. I'm pumped. Thank you so much to Dodd for sending us those Kentucky Derby and Kentucky shot glasses.
Yes, yeah.
That was great. On brand, on point, super exciting. Thank you everyone to joining us in the Discord. Lots and lots of fun. And to wrap up this chapter, so before you follow a lady with a big hat but have literally zero plan for how to follow up on if you actually catch her or find where she's going, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, Vince Lewick, and Margaret, with music by Audionautics. If you are interested in supporting us and the podcast and also getting some really cool exclusive merch and access to early episodes and bonus episodes, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and us, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, things like that, for all things The Wheel Weaves, you can go to thewheelweavespodcast.com. Please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference. And tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening because this really is part of the pattern now.